Welcome to First Star Let's Chat, an athletic therapy podcast. I'm your host, James Gardner, certified athletic therapist, certified strength and conditioning specialist, yoga instructor, human being. This platform, for the pros, by the pros, anybody in the performance space, and beyond. Welcome here to share in the stories of professionals, experiences, journeys, learning along the way. It's a platform to connect, to network, and to be a part of a community that cares, with conversations that matter, experiences that resonate, and generate ideas, thought-provoking, organic dialogue, passionate pros. Brought to you as always by First Star Therapy, Mobility Tape, Epic, and Benchmark Athletics. In association with the Canadian Athletic Therapists Association. It's First Star Let's Chat, an athletic therapy podcast. Thanks for being here. Thank you for being a part of it. Welcome to First Star Let's Chat, an athletic therapy roundtable brought to you by First Star Therapy. I'm your host, James Gardner, and this is a platform for the pros, by the pros. Passionate pros, organic dialogue. Let's chat. Thanks for listening. Let's roll. Session 55, First Star Let's Chat, an athletic therapy roundtable. Kayden Johnson is our guest tonight. We'll get to his bio here shortly. An amazing athlete, an even better human being, and really proud to have known you in the time that we have and to stay in touch. And it's amazing that you give up some time here. You just finished a lift, so you're back home and give up a little bit of time to chat with us this evening. So first off, thanks for being here. Everybody who's here live, thank you for being here. Everybody picking this up on the podcast, YouTube channel, all of these things, it goes a long way. And we feel the momentum building with this platform. Conversations like these go a long way, Kayden, and this will have reverberating messaging through therapy, performance, other athletes, coaches, everybody who picks this up. So before we get going, First Star Let's Chat, session 55 with Kayden Johnson, brought to you as always by Mobility Tape, the only heat-activated kinesiology tape on the market. If you haven't tried it, I'd encourage you to try it. If you have any questions, I am happy to answer them, or you can go directly through Mobility Tape on Instagram at Mobility Tape. Also brought to you by First Star Therapy. We are offering a recalibration workshop this week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Really excited about that. Settling into a little bit more of the intentful actions and mindful piece this week for registrants. Still available last minute. Tomorrow up until that course starts, it's running, as I said, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then February, we are offering through First Star Therapy 2 times a week an athlete access work course based off of intentful movement, intentful motion, and all of the things that matter in optimizing performance. That is that. Let's get to this. This is an important one. A world-class hurdler, a standout running back drafted in 2020 to the CFL and the BC Lions, and now a high-performance member of Bobsleigh Canada. Kayden Johnson, an all-around gifted athlete. He was one of the most intriguing athletes drafted by the Lions in 2020. A description through the website of the BC Lions: tall, powerful, explosive, and strong. Kayden was considered by many as the top running back available in the CFL draft. The same qualities caught the eye of Canada's bobsleigh coaches when the multi-sport athlete won at the 2018 RBC training grounds in Winnipeg. The following week, they had the Saskatchewan product learning how to push in the ice house. And we'll get to that story. What a cool transition. Done a bunch already in your short number of years. He took his first memorable trip from the top of the Whistler Sliding Center in the fall of 2020 and was immediately hooked on the excitement and intensity of the sport. Kayden's path to compete in elite level sports began in track and field as a medal-winning 60-meter hurdler at York University. His strong results led him to being named York Male Athlete of the Year. Not only those results, but just him as a human being. That was in 2018. When not chasing his sporting dreams, Kayden has expressed a desire to pursue a film career after majoring in theater at York University. For now, his goals remain to make Canada's Olympic team. Kayden Johnson, welcome aboard, man. Appreciate you, and appreciate the time giving this over to us to be here this evening. I'll let you say hello and let's jump into this thing.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
Awesome, man. I was driving, and I told Kayden this the other day when we were chatting. I was driving randomly, and I heard him on the Fan 590 here in Toronto with Jeff Blair, and I just all of a sudden I was like, I was already in the midst of asking him if he'd be on here, and just listening to your story, man. What a cool story, and I'd love to tie this back a little bit to sort of the performance, personnel, and coaching and athletic therapy a little bit as we go along. But let's start with track and football, and then all of a sudden bobsleigh. So like, how did that happen? And just kind of walk us through your athletic pursuit. We'll just sit back, listen to your story as you go, and then I'll fire off a bunch of questions, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for me, I've loved a variety of sports throughout high school. My main three were basketball, track and field, and football. And going into university, I knew I would have to pick at least two out of the three. So the ones that worked out best and I enjoyed the most were football and track and field. And those two sports in themselves complement each other. You need the speed, the power, and the strength. And I also just love to compete as well and try to reach my maximum potential, not just in sports, in life, and everything I do. I just love life and just want to pursue my limits. And it's been an amazing journey so far. And with football and track and field in university, it was quite a ride, where I started at the University of Saskatchewan, where I did redshirt. And then that would later lead me to York University for some amazing 4 years, where I did compete in track and field and football. And track, the journey was started as a decathlete, so just doing all the events, because my dad, he was a decathlete for Team Canada as well, so he was able to show me the ropes at a young age. And that's where I found a lot of passion in all the events. So track and field, I do appreciate each event. And from firsthand, running 1,500 meters, doing pole vaults, it's not just running fast. I had a variety of events. I know all different types of pain in that aspect. And for football, the speed on the track only translated better to the football field. And I was able to use that breakaway speed and just pursue that and reach one of my goals, which was being a professional athlete. So I'm so thankful to have the opportunity and to be drafted by the BC Lions and start my professional football career there, because that's been a lifelong dream of mine. And now I also have another amazing opportunity to go to the Olympics. At first, it was looking like it was going to be track and field, which I still haven't written that one out at all. But now with this opportunity that Bobsleigh Canada has presented to me, it's just been amazing to work with all these Olympians as well and have them on my team and compete with them and realize that this dream is becoming a reality, and it just feels more real every single day. So I love the competition, the athletes that I'm working with, and also the drive that we all share. So it's just been a great environment.
Yeah, what a crazy three sports that you have potential to be at the highest level in the world, in the country and then in the world. And you can sort of summarize it in just a couple of minutes. Like, we could go hours and hours on each one of those. And anybody who's on here live and then picking this up on YouTube, you'll see the love and the passion of life in Kayden. It's easy to be lit up when I'm just sitting here across the screen from you. It was easy to be lit up by you, being on the sidelines with you at football and in the training room and down in the weight room while we were at York University together. You talk about that pursuit of passion and sort of exploring the edges and like living life to its fullest. and then loving life to its fullest. Has that ever been forced for you, or you just feel like pursuing these things that you love doing has just kind of led you and fueled that in you?
Yeah, I think just all these experiences. I love traveling as well and just seeing new things, reaching new heights, and I literally reaching new heights. I love climbing mountains too, massive passion of mine as well. So I really just love the journey in itself, and just to create new experiences and live it to the fullest, because uh, I'm just very appreciative of it, and I don't take any of it for granted.
Yeah, man, it's amazing to see, and I sort of catch a little bit of you here and there on Instagram and like the mountain hikes and getting up the mountaintops and all these kinds of things, and then now you're doing it for like more than just the experience of climbing the mountain. You got to climb this massive mountain to go back down to the bottom of it as fast as you can in basically a freaking, I don't know, a metal container or something like this that goes really fast. Bobsleigh, Canada's a global powerhouse in bobsleigh, right? And this recruitment of athletes from RBC, from where you were at the facility in 2018, and to sort of be recruited and pulled over there. Let's start there. What was that experience like for you? You obviously went to this training center to sort of demonstrate what you can do and what you house as an athlete. But how did it play out for you, and how did Bobsleigh Canada approach you? And this was back in 2018, so prior to your draft of the BC Lions. So a whole bunch of questions I could ask, but there's no issue or nothing competing with the CFL and Bobsleigh Canada. They're cool that you're doing both things. Start at 2018 and how this started. I have so many questions.
Well, in 2018, that was a big statement year for myself. That was um, that March. That was when I won nationals in youth sports for the 60-meter hurdles. And after that, about a month after, that's when the RBC training ground, they were having their regional qualifiers. So I went with that with a couple other athletes, and from there I did well and was sent to my region for Saskatchewan, Manitoba. They did a combined combine, I guess. It's pretty much what the RBC training ground is. It's a big combine of a collection of athletes from all different sports and ages. And from there, I did very well in all the events. And they even finish you off with a Wingate test on the assault bike. So
yeah, you got it all.
Oh yeah, for sure. I couldn't even walk after that. I just gave it my all. And after that, I was named the winner of RBC Training Ground for Saskatchewan, Manitoba. And that opened the gates where the Olympic Committee and other representatives for Bobsleigh Canada, they invited me to come out to Calgary to the Ice House, which is their indoor bobsleigh facility for next generation training camp, and just to get introduced to the sport and everything. And right away, I just absolutely loved it. Bobsleigh is a really unique sport where it translated perfectly from track and football. I could use both of those approaches and experiences, where the technique of track and field and sprinting comes down to it, but then also the power and the teamwork. I found like the teamwork from football that helped a lot in me excelling in bobsleigh, because you need a team and everybody has to be working together, and all the right parts need to come into play to be able to push this heavy sled fast down the hill, and all jump in and just go for the ride. Because once I'm actually going down the mountain in the bobsleigh, it just feels like you're in a man-powered rocket just shooting down the ice.
Oh, what a crazy thing. And I mean, it kind of looked like that. Like anybody who hasn't seen any footage or been on the sideline with you playing football, it's like that when you're handed the ball or blocking or doing any of these things. It's like this rocket coming out of the backfield that, I mean, you could try to tackle him if you want, but I'd probably rather just step out of the way. I just recall a couple of times in the training room, either pre-game or some little nick here or there, just lifting up these legs. And these things are like lifting a human in itself, you know, big, strong, muscular legs. And it kind of brings me around, like you have track, which to a person, and to therapy and performance is very, athletes are very in tune with their bodies. They're very aware when something's a little bit off, and what they need to do to correct, or what they need to do in terms of their training load and these kinds of things. Then you take football, which for most positions in football, minus maybe a couple, there's kind of this like kill or be killed mentality when it comes to the weight room, and train the heck out of yourself. And if you're sore, that's good. And if you're not, then you're not working hard enough. And I don't want to generalize, but I mean, that is sort of a part of that culture in certain points in the season. And then bobsleigh, I'd imagine, somewhere maybe in between here, but so now you have three sports, you're talented in all of them. Are you guiding sort of your own training now that you have the knowledge of all three of those, or do you have people that are there sort of templating your workouts? I'm just fascinated by the overlap of these sports, and how does maybe the programming or the periodization of your lifts or your workouts, how do you cater that to all three sports, or how do you tailor it or peter it off if the seasons are overlapping? How does that look for you?
Well, I'm used to jumping from sport to season. So I know when to taper down, when I can really apply pressure and apply the weights and the speed work. And I do know what to look for with my technique and how to structure my workouts just based on when in the season I am, or preseason, postseason. So then I have been able to use the knowledge that I've collected from Athletics Canada, from Bobsleigh Canada, and then also from the BC Lions, our training programs as well, and then also throughout my university years as well. So it's just a great collection to use from, where I can utilize where I want to use all the components to be the strongest, the fastest, and the most powerful athlete that I can be. And to the degree where it's more so quality over quantity. So I like to be really mindful of my body too. So I'll be really focused on my warm up and on my cool down, on what little nicks I may have here. And I eat every single day, even days I don't train. I'll be like a self chiropractor to myself, where I can adjust my SI joints, my ankles, my knees, and my spine. So I found like cool techniques where I can use that actually help just with better fitness in general and longevity.
Yeah, awesome. And I love this. Like, this has been a sort of a burning topic with myself lately, transitioning over to a new space, coming back to Canada and working with a great strength coach and director of performance, Dan Noble. And we talk about we just had this conversation last week on our other program, on the Whistle, and we were talking about individualization of programming within team sports. And this just houses it to a person. If we don't know who Kayden Johnson is in front of us, or what else he's doing, and we're just programming as BC Lion, or as Bobsleigh Canada athlete, or as track athlete, we miss the boat on so many things. And I think at this point, you know yourself better than anybody else, obviously, and the reliance of practitioners, coaches, strength coaches, anybody in your corner, there has to be a ton of dialogue, right? So communication becomes key with somebody like you, with athletes with athletes at all levels, but at this high a level in so many different realms. How important is communication with you, with your, we'll just bias this to sort of like the therapy and performance side of things, with those personnel that you have working with you in the various sports? What does communication look and feel like for you, the athlete, when it goes well, and what does it look or feel like when it's not going well in terms of that communication?
Yeah, like you put it, communication is key. As an athlete, and even as a coach to athletes as well, like getting that feedback, in especially like a positive feedback or a negative feedback, but take it as a way in which you can improve on. So just the communication in between reps, in between how you're feeling that day, because your mood and how you feel will vary from day to day as well. So even compared to working out in the morning or late at night, you have to be able to listen to your body and also communicate that with your coaches. And honesty is a big factor as well. Like, to be honest about it, then you can really play your cards right and be able to communicate that with fellow athletes, coaches, teammates, and trainers. So then everybody is on the same page, because it's a big mechanism, like, for high performance, that you need to, where all these little parts need to come together. And if your communication is good and everybody's on the same page, then there will be no stone will be left unturned, and you can be able to utilize that to the best potential.
Yeah, man, I think those are great points. And I'm just sort of jotting down some notes here as we sort of continue to build this network and this platform for young therapists, for therapists coming into a new role, for therapists that have been at it a long time. I think this reinforces a lot of the things that that go a long way, maybe even beyond like the hands-on skills. If we're good people, yeah, if we're good people,
Yeah.
then we're going to make an impact, and we're going to be impacted by athletes. And you know, again, coming back around to being on the sidelines, being around you, the positivity that sort of emanates in your immediate surrounding as well as far beyond was always something that I was envious of, and obviously in tune with. And when something was wrong, we could always pick that up and we could always fix that. But that smile and that outlook on things was always the same with you. And that's few and far between. That's not every athlete. So again, like that individual piece of you being the one that's driving when I'm feeling good, when I'm not feeling good, I can't do this today, I want to do this today. I think that's massive, right? Like relying on the athlete instead of the athlete relying on us as practitioners, right? To sort of direct things and guide things through. Yeah, so some great points. As your journey sort of navigated through track and football and Bobsleigh Canada and all these other things, basketball in high school, all these things, you had lots of different relationships, student therapists, athletic therapists, certified, or somebody on the sideline, somebody in the corner, somebody at the bottom of the mountain. And I really want to get to like this run, like your first run and all these things with Bobsleigh, because it's amazing. And
Yeah.
I kind of started to, as soon as I heard that interview with you, I was like, man, this is like, I don't know, let me study up on this. But what were sort of some of the characteristics that either worked or didn't work in terms of therapists with you or with your team or the group of people you were training with? So you mentioned honesty, obviously, the ability to communicate. Were there some other characteristics that stuck out or do stick out with the people that are in your corner? You say like, oh, he's genuinely, she is a good person, or he is a good person, or anything that jumps out to you that quote unquote makes a good therapist?
Yeah, I find that connection and the positivity, and you can feel somebody's energy if they actually care about what they're doing, if they are invested in it, if they want to be there. And that plays a huge factor in you feel that what you're doing is important, and that you do have this complete trust in the methods that they're using. I find trust is a huge key in it. Like, I want to trust my coach that he's going to give me the right warm up or workout to do, my therapist that they're going to give me the right recovery or rehab exercises to do. And I find that trust foundation plays a huge aspect in that. And through trust, you have to have that honesty as well. So it goes back to having that riding that fine line of communication where both parties agree and can be on the same page.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. It summarizes so much, and it just directs, for me, it directs me back to, you know, skills and takeaways and passing exams and getting certifications, and all of those things are great. But at the same time, they're not great if you're not great at delivering those to the human being in front of you. And so you've touched on a lot of these things, and I think that's phenomenal. And so that just highlights it, top of the world, top of the podium, hopefully here in multiple avenues, and then we can shout it from the rooftops together. That's great stuff. You've adjusted obviously with COVID and the guidelines and restrictions, and going sort of like from Whistler or Calgary to Saskatchewan and wherever you're moving sort of in between. What have you used sort of like as strategies to help manage? Like, it's not easy for anybody, obviously, but online platforms like this, phone calls on regular communication with all the people that matter. What other things have you used to sort of stay sane or stay, upbeat? And I know that's sort of natural for you, but it's not easy, right? So have you implemented anything new or any different strategies to sort of stay with things through this pandemic?
Yeah, absolutely. I use this free time to really try to enhance my brain and learn new things every single day. Like I can always learn new information and be mindful of my actions. I love to meditate as well. I find that really clears my head. And I'm a little bit of a nerd too, so I really dove into science, like astrophysics and quantum physics as well. So I just really like to test my brain, my knowledge, and really enjoy it. And I've also found a love for astronomy, where I even have a telescope now. So at nights when it's clear, I can look at different planets, the rings of Saturn and nebula, and even Andromeda galaxy and stuff. So that helps. I kind of, it humbles me in a way where you do feel small and you feel like you're part of this massive universe outside of you. So I just really love the science as well, and just learning every day. It doesn't have to be science, it can be anything you're passionate about. And I feel like that is a huge thing with mental health, and just to be able to learn every day and just soak it up and have fun with it too. You got to really enjoy it. So I find,
That's amazing, man. I think the first thing you said is like, with this free time, like nobody looks at this as free time, right? Everybody's banging their head against the wall saying like, oh, when is this going to end? I need to get back to normal. And you're here saying this is free time. I get to study astrophysics. I get to look at astronomy and look at planets. Like, this is amazing, man. If there's any takeaway that I'm just going to just write an entire book on, it's that right there, right? It's lemons from lemonade, but not even, or lemonade from lemons, right? The reverse. But either way,
yeah.
it's still a thing with lemons and doing something with them. But anyway, but this is amazing. So you take this free time, you're doing all these things, and what a powerful spirit and a powerful message. So I appreciate that, man. I'm writing this stuff down, and the meditation piece is massive. I think this introspective component of athletics, not even athletics, and you've just touched on like being part of something bigger, right? Acknowledging how small we are in this universe and this energy, and seeing these things. And so I've really moved towards that as well, in terms of like implementing the mental state and mindfulness and meditation, and we can use any term we want, but really it's just being intentful, right, in the moment, and applying our brain's function to operate as a mind, and the focus to move to the thing that we're doing, right? And so housing that in training, housing that in downtime, being able to be as reflective as you are, and go beyond. This is amazing, man. It's great to hear. And like I'm just going to sit here in awe the rest of the time. So this is amazing. It's great. And I think that's something we can all take a greater stronghold of, right? Like, it's not easy financially, it's not easy in a lot of ways, but there is opportunity here to change outlooks and to really jump onto some new stuff. If not, then enhance the things that you're already engaged in. So really cool stuff. Let's shift gears completely. I don't even know if there are gears in a bobsleigh, but let's make it a thing and go up there. You have had 2018, you get selected to Bobsleigh Canada, and then you start training in the ice house. And then there's Whistler, which is like the major run. How many runs have you done physically? Can you count them in a bobsled?
I think I've done 6 runs in a bobsleigh. Yeah.
6 runs, and you're in the running to become a part of this powerhouse. So this is an interesting sport, right? We look at football, and you're taking rep after rep after rep after rep. Track, lots of rep, a lot of like structural stuff as well. But okay, so 6 runs in how long? Like, you were selected in 2018, right? And so between 2018 and here we are in 2021, you've done 6 full runs, but you're about to go back out to Whistler, right?
Yep. Yeah, I am. So
okay, so you're gonna go back out there. What does that look like?
Well, in 2020, that was my first time actually going down a full track, and honestly, the runs down in Calgary in the ice house, they could not prepare me for like the adrenaline that would hit when I go down the actual track in Whistler. That thing, it's the fastest track in the world as well, and it is intimidating when you're standing on top of the mountain. You're just looking out, and across the track you can just see these mountains on the other side, and then the slope of Whistler, it's so fast at the start because it just dips down. I have to go on my tippy toes to actually see over the edge.
Huh.
So you're just gonna hit full speed right away, and you got to get in the sled and just hold on for dear life.
So that's what it's like. It's like you get a great push, you jump in, cover your eyes, close your eyes, and hope you've memorized the turns. Is that a fair summary?
Yeah, like I still haven't been able to count the turns going down yet. We just gain so much speed, get up to 150 kilometers an hour. The G forces can hit 5 to 7 Gs around some corners. So you're just getting rattled around in there, and it's a surreal feeling for sure. And
so what does it feel like when you get out at the bottom? How long do you have to remain in the bobsled when you come to a stop before you get out of that thing?
so at the finish line, for myself as a brakeman, then I'll pull the brakes, and around 200 meters, it'll take us to slow down. And the first time when I stood up, I felt lightheaded, and I was like, it was just a feeling I've never felt before. But I was so exhilarated too, because I am an adrenaline junkie as well. So it was a really cool feeling. I haven't went that fast without seatbelts before. So and yeah, it definitely gives your back a good stretch too. So I felt more loose after too, because you're just getting compressed down to the bottom of the sled as you're going faster and faster around each corner. And by the end of it, I was honestly just ready to go for it again, because it's a cool feeling that I can't emulate anywhere else. And that's why I also love the sport. Some guys don't like going down the hill or that feeling you get, but for me, I just embrace it. My eyes are open down the sled. I just relax my face as if I'm sprinting, so then I can be more fluid and loose and just soak it in and enjoy this, like the experience of hurtling down the ice track.
Yeah, man, what a crazy thing. Like when we break down sport to sort of its real basics, like hurdling, yeah, just flying down this ice slide in this big giant object. Anyway, it's amazing to hear, and obviously the passion and the desire to continue on in this and really develop in this sport. So coming back around to like your meditative piece and being intentful and obviously like understanding physics and metaphysics and all these other things, like it probably gives you a realistic understanding of this and appreciation of this sport, maybe more so than anybody else. But is there a ton of visualization work that is built into, and don't give away any secrets because I don't want the Germans catching up or anything like that, but in terms of your preparation, is there a lot of mental prep and visualization work as part of your training built in?
Yeah, there's definitely visualization. For myself as a brakeman, it's more so the beginning, like the angles that I want to hit coming off the block, pushing the sled, the timing that I want to get in the sled as well. And you'll see, especially the pilots, they visualize every single corner. It looks like they're casting spells. It's just like their eyes are closed, their arms are waving around like they're going down the track. It's funny to see, but you totally get it. And for myself, I am going to try being a pilot as well. So I really understand just how important that visualization aspect is, and especially in bobsleigh, you have to know the corner when it's coming to you, because if you turn when you hit the corner, it's already too late. You got to be anticipating each corner before you even hit it, just the speeds that you're going and the G forces that hit you. So the visualization is absolutely key, especially from a pilot's position.
Yeah, no, super awesome. What a cool sport. So this is a sport where I feel like the training load is massive, right? And then the payoff is like that one run, and you can't just sort of strap the sled on your back, walk back to the top, and do it again. It takes a lot out of you to get that one run done. So one thing that's really developed for me, another thing that's really developed for you in the last little while is beginning to impart the wisdom of appreciating the journey, right? So you're only going to have this one run in X number of days. You have all this preparation time, and sometimes it's a grind, and sometimes I'm slugging it out in the gym. And if you start to allow that to be the mindset, do you feel like that's a deterrent for most athletes? Whereas in this case, you have to utilize that as part of the run, because you're only going to get this X number of seconds down one time, and then that's it for a little while before you get to do it again. So is that sort of something that gets talked about regularly, or is that something that enters your mindset?
The way I see it is you definitely have to make the most out of it. So on a training day where I'm pushing the sled, I'll go down 2 or 3 times in that day, but
Yep.
have to take a day or two off in between. And so I like to make sure the night before I'm already getting my nutrition right and doing some stretches, maybe do a contrast bath depending on the training I had that day. And then the morning of, I'll make sure I get a good breakfast. I'll do my mobility and get ready to go, because bobsleigh being a winter sport as well, a lot of the warm up itself is outside too. So
Right.
that in itself, you have to be resilient to go out there and sprint in the winter as well. It's because your muscles, you want to make sure they're loose, or else you're going to pull something because it's cold and you're trying to move as fast as possible. So I find putting that extra detail makes the biggest difference, even though you're only going to be pushing the sled for 5 seconds or less.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Cool. What I don't know. I gotta watch this. Like when you get some footage, make sure you send it over. I want to just watch this stuff. But don't, again, we won't give it away to any other countries that are trying to compete. So how many teams are there? What does your team consist of within Bobsleigh Canada? I think I heard you say there's six. Is there 6 teams within the Bobsleigh Canada?
Yep. So there are 4 men's teams.
Okay.
Um, so the pilots that I've worked with is Pat Norton, Chris Springs, and Taylor. And Chris Springs, he went to the last 3 Olympics as a pilot,
Mm-hmm.
and he also um, is from Australia too. So he's got a cool accent that I like, but he's a fun guy to hang with. And it's been really cool to be able to work with these guys and have them as pilots, and because you have to have a lot of trust in your pilots too, because they're the ones who are driving the sled for you for the majority of the time down the track. So to be able to work together with them. And another interesting thing about bobsleigh is that the team, your crew, you're also the pit crew for your sled. Like, we take it apart, we'll fix it, we'll polish the runners, which are the blades on the bottom, we'll bring the sled to the track, and we'll do all the maintenance on it. So you're not only the team for it, you're also the pit crew. So, and that sled it's like your sports car.
And is that mandated by the sport? Like, is that part of it that you must be the management of it, or do some countries, some teams have people that do that for them?
Well, some countries will have it do it for them on practice days, but on race day, only your crew can touch your sled.
Okay.
So you can't have any outside people being involved with the sled or meddling around with it. It can only be your crew that is responsible for your sled, how you polish it and get it ready to race.
Yeah. Very nice, man. What a nice little intricacy that not everybody knows about bobsleigh, I'm sure. So, or maybe everybody does, except for me. Now I do. Great insight and great intel into sort of like again, Canada being a powerhouse and you being a part of this. Amazing, man. Like now you have the BC Lions draft you in 2020. You get picked up with Bobsleigh Canada, Track Canada. I'm sure you're still on the radar there. And what an amazing young man you are, and all the things and accomplishments to date, regardless of medals or not, regardless of the sport participation. Again, this is session 55 of First Star Let's Chat with Kayden Johnson, multi-sport threat, multi-leveled human, a threat to I don't know, knowledge, wisdom, all of these things, doing so many things with your time, man. It's amazing to see. It's amazing to watch your journey, and to be a small part of that path has been really humbling for me, and just kind of watching from a distance here. So I just wanted to thank you for your role in my life and in our life in terms of shaping shaping me as a practitioner, as a human being, and the role that you've played. This is a platform for me to share a lot of stories and share a lot of experiences with amazing people, and an opportunity for me to thank you openly in a public space for everything that you've done for myself, for the therapy crew at York University, and for everybody that you've touched through your journey along the way. So thank you for that. I'm not saying bye yet. Don't get ready to jump off here. We got maybe 5 more minutes. We'll stick with you here. And I just wanted to go maybe just back to the therapy side of things. When you know that you have an athletic therapist or a crew behind you, what does that mean to you? Does that mean you can take a little bit more risk? Does it mean, like, when you have that trust and that honesty and that communication in your corner, and those people working hard at what they're doing in your corner, what does that do for you as an athlete?
Well, it lets me know that it's bigger than myself, that it takes a team and it takes a family to be able to achieve greatness, and also just to perform at your best and have fun. It's more than yourself, and to understand that and to be part of it and to actually accept it, where you're accepting others, being vulnerable enough to let them in and help you out, and being vulnerable enough to work hard enough where you can fail, where if you do fail, you won't forget the lesson, you'll learn from it. So that's how I see it, where you can take risks and be able to strive for it, because you have all these other people rooting for you and on your side, which is just fuel to the fire. It's just an amazing feeling to have yourself know that you have all these people behind your back, and vice versa.
Yeah, man, great share. And I think that acknowledgement of failure still being a lesson, and failure not being terminal, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
again, had an amazing conversation yesterday with another former athlete from York who've now aligned with some mindfulness stuff and some access work, where we're doing sort of mindfulness and movement and combining them. Former soccer player Matthew Arnone, who's still in the professional world playing soccer, and we were talking about just that, where when we can dim what failure feels like and acknowledge it as sort of an opportunity to grow and not be fearful of that, we can lessen the anxiousness within us in whatever we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where we can now fully invest in the experience, as opposed to fully investing in what if I fail, or what if I win, or what if. If I'm just fully
Yep.
here, the output or the end point is sort of less relevant, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It just helps you get more in the present moment and act like you do have nothing to lose, because you can put it all out there and not focus on the negatives to cloud your mind, but rather focus on a positive outcome and the best outcome, because you never know what could happen on the day or at the time of it.
Yeah, beautiful. So you're at home now, and we'll just kind of wrap this thing up here slowly. But if anybody has any questions that's here live, please feel free to type them in the chat box. I'll get them over to Kayden here before he goes. But you're home now, right? So you're in small town Saskatchewan. You grew up in small town Saskatchewan. You've moved sort of all over the country. You're now seeing the country in a different way, from different heights and different speeds, which is pretty freaking amazing. What's the journey been like? Has that ability to travel, is that part of, or the opportunity to travel with sport? How has that been a piece of your life? I know you like to travel. You love to travel beforehand. You moved from
Mm-hmm.
Saskatchewan to small town Saskatchewan to major metropolis Toronto to go to university. Has that shaped you as well? Like, just the ability to see the country. I know you're grateful for all of it, but has that played a role in sort of, again, like, fueling your fire continually?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, sport and education has helped me travel the world and go to places that I never thought that I would go, experience all these new cultures, ways of life, and just really open my eyes to how different people around the world and different cultures are, and the variety in everything and everyone that is out there. So it's been pretty amazing, because my town in Carver, Saskatchewan has 1,000 people in it, and going out to Toronto, going to Vancouver, the flatlands of Saskatchewan to the peaks of the Rocky Mountains. Just there's so much variety out there, and I'm thankful for every opportunity that has been given to me, because it's been truly an honor, and I've loved every second of it.
Oh, man, great stuff. I think we'll leave it on that note. It's been a pleasure, man. I know you just trained. I know you got probably to get some food in you, and your sleep's important. And just want to thank you again for your time here, taking this. I'd love to come back around when you get a few more runs underneath your belt and chat on it and see how it's going. And I'm sure others would as well. Yeah, man. Kayden Johnson, session 55, First Star Let's Chat, brought to you by Mobility Tape, the only heat activated kinesiology tape on the market, and First Star Therapy, as always. Kayden, I wish you all the best with your training, man. I would love to stay in contact, and if you need anything, there's always a place for you, and happy to answer any questions, and gain a lot of wisdom from you as well. Yeah, and when you look out through the telescope and you realize how tiny we are, and how much we are a part of something so much greater than what we may have thought at one point. Don't forget how much of an impact you've had on everybody that you've come in contact with as well. Although we're tiny in this universe, you have made a massive impact. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate you taking this time. Continue to do you, because that's the most important thing you can do. And it just reverberates, man. It's felt all the way across the globe to over here in Toronto, and everybody picking this up, I'm sure.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm very grateful to be a part of this. So yeah, thanks again, and it's absolutely my pleasure.
Awesome, man. We'll stay in touch. I wish everybody good night. Next week, we are working on date and time, so pay attention for that one. Reg Grant will be on. We're just trying to organize our schedule, and that'll be posted by Instagram and hopefully as many places as possible. So again, session 55, Kayden Johnson, multi-sport threat for Canada, going global. I wish you good night. Good night, everybody. Thanks again for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of this community. Check us out online, firststartherapy.com. That's FIRSTAR therapy.com. Or email us with feedback, consult@firststartherapy.com. CONSULT@firststartherapy.com. On Instagram @firststar.therapy, and our podcast host @letschat.at. This is First Star Let's Chat, an athletic therapy podcast.